Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for a special report. I saw this meme and I thought it really feels very familiar to what we've been experiencing. The type of power that we're looking at is the power of our own personal power, not just to be in control or ruling others. So we're kind of hesitant and nervous when we look at that word, but I don't think we should. If we don't embrace our own personal power, we're not going to be able to take back what's ours. And so, of course, I go to the Vikings and the Titans and Rodan, for all of you that know some of my work, or Odin, as he's known also to many. And just as a reminder, they were somewhat fearless. They did whatever they needed to do to survive. And kind of being in that mode. There's different ways to have power. It's not always by force or aggression, but careful thinking and keeping yourself awake, alert, and on top of things, pretty much. So it's funny because I said we need to be alert, and I saw some kind of saying that it was like all over these magazines. We need to be alert, and everyone's like, what does that mean? It's being focused on, not letting anything slip by, knowing what's going on in the news, knowing what's going on in your neighborhood, knowing what's going on, um, and what is being planned for the future. So this is what part of the reason why I like to do these reports is because there's so much stuff that I could do a report every single day, and the way that all this information is coming in, there'd still be some interesting content to talk about. So let's start with one of the first things that I discovered. I thought this was kind of funny because Asclepius, who's from our history, he is a hero and a god of medicine, of all things. And guess what his mother's name is? Coronis. Just a little piece of trivia. I thought it was pretty weird, actually. And this symbology is not quite like the Hippocrates, but it's definitely it's along the same line of it, and it does make you wonder. I always say that these beings, they exist, they have existed, they will exist. They're a lot of them immortals. This was a son of Apollo, so a son of Apollo and Coronis. Just really weird. But anyhow, I'm going to show you some even stranger things. They're tampering again with DNA and doing all sorts of strange experiments. And this is the type of stuff that's horrifying. And it does make you wonder, are we angering the universe by meddling with living things that don't belong to us? Japan allowed to grow hybrids of humans and animals. This is where Atlantis screwed up and got destroyed. Is it any wonder that we're not having problems right now? I'm not really sure what this thing is either, from Indonesia, and maybe that's been around for a while. I don't know. They're calling it alien-like, and it could be from some other location off planet. Here's another experimentation. Like I said, this is a violation against the universe, the divine source. I don't think we have permission. We should be tampering with some of these natural, beautiful creatures and creating something which almost looks like there's some humanoid stuff going on here as well. Body structure, skeletal, it just doesn't look great. It's a combination supposedly of rat, frog, and a bat. And we're wondering why we're getting sick. They're doing all sorts of things they're not supposed to be doing. Getting into a little bit more of the political side, satellites are actually doing something good here and catching China in a major military move, putting a little pressure on what's going on in the South China Sea. So the People's Liberation Army, Navy, Air Force starting to use it as a base of operations. Defense Intelligence Group. We'll put these links in there so you can take a look at them. But this has kind of been off and on in the background while we're looking at all of the stuff that the mainstream media wants us to look at, and getting hung up on masks and all this other stuff while this is going on in the background. This is where I'm saying to keep alert. A lot of people, I guess I'm probably preaching to the choir in this one, but this is, one of those slips. The truth usually comes out. Not that anyone really cares, ultimately, because still they keep their eyes closed, but he admits that he grew up in Kenya.
3 years ago, I visited Kenya as the first sitting American president to come from Kenya.
There you go. First sitting American president to come from Kenya. That's it. I thought that was illegal in the U.S., but I guess not. I guess some people get a pass. All right. I thought this was interesting too. Probably people know about this, but we talk about these underground tunnels. And isn't it interesting how many different little projects that Elon Musk is involved in? We got underground tunnels, working the boring company. And yeah, this just came out 2020, May 15th, under Las Vegas. We had a lot of paranormal interesting activity. Some saw some type of alien activity or some advanced flying objects around there right when we got the coronavirus outbreak, and look who's been there. I thought that was a coincidence. Maybe. We finished digging out a second tunnel beneath the Las Vegas Convention Center. And, it has been known that there is a civilization living under Las Vegas. And, that's a city that never sleeps. And the city where people can lose everything that they've ever had in a matter of hours. So where do those people go? Maybe some of them can't go home. Can't face what they've done. They destroyed their families and everything else in their lives. So they go underground. Or, there's a drug industry and some other things that's going on. But it's quite interesting that all this, you notice everyone's life is on hold here, except for the pandemic hasn't yet altered these plans. So these are priority. The average person can't go back to work. The average person is having a hard time just visiting their loved ones. They can't go visit their loved ones, their elderly relatives that are in retirement homes. Kids can't go to college. But this wasn't altered. This is the part that's hard, is seeing the priorities of what's important. Here's another big move. No one seems to be bothered by it. Texas taxes.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk taking his fight over state lockdowns to a whole new level, threatening to pull his company's headquarters out of California unless he's allowed to reopen his electric vehicle factory. Musk is also suing Alameda County and their health department, accusing it of overstepping when it shut its plant down. He's calling his factory critical infrastructure. Jack and DeAngelo's live in the newsroom with all the latest from Elon, who never disappoints, Jack.
All right, so there it is. And yeah, I didn't mean to cut her off there, but I don't want to get too deep into that conversation. We'll have the links there for you to listen to. Yeah, if Elon doesn't get his way, he's going to sue because he needs the money. He wants to complain because even though everyone else is in lockdown, he's going to make sure that he's not. So during this lockdown, he's going to move his very large company over to Texas. And why am I picking on Elon? Because he's one of those guys that seem to want us to not exist, or at least, depopulation or slave system, AI. It doesn't really matter. Here's Corbyn, who was arrested in Hyde Park, anti-lockdown. Europe is going through some of their questioning and wondering, should we be stepping back, or should we be more vocal about what we're doing? It seems like they're becoming more vocal. And I actually saw, I believe it happened in the UK, I might be wrong, but a woman and her child were taken away, arrested for peaceful protesting. And so here's, like I said, this is another situation. But while that's happening in Europe, and of course there's been a lot of protesting throughout Europe, especially Germany. I didn't post anything like that. But take a look at what's happening in my neighborhood, and we're going to see how ridiculous things have gotten. And here we go.
What are you guys doing? For people to walk in one direction? Okay, this is insanity. You know this. What the? God, this is crazy.
You know what happens when you give low people authority, like selectmen and stuff?
Who's the town manager for Swampscott? And I bet he supports Charlie Baker. Oh my God!
Charlie Baker's the mayor of Boston.
Now, what happens if I don't walk? And what if I do this? And I will, because this is what I'm going to do. What happens if I do this? What do they do to me? This is I know you guys are doing your job, but this is insanity. This is tyranny. That's what this is. This is communism. Come on, this is communism. No, it isn't. I have a double master's in nursing. What kind of health is this? You're gonna get a COVID from walking down the street? This is insane. Look at this. Two people who are together walking with a mask, and they're fine. Thank God this woman has some sanity, no mask on her, and they're fine with what's going on here. Spray painting arrows on the sidewalk in Swampscott, which means that if you are walking in the wrong direction, if you walk, I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. Take a look. Go to the Swampscott website and find out what happens if you don't walk. It's not these guys' faults. They're just doing their job. But look at this. Look, this is Swampscott. This is where the governor of Massachusetts lives. This is what's going on. This is insanity. This is what's going on. Look at this. This is tyranny. This is communism. This is what the Chinese communist government does to their people, and it's happening right here on the streets in Massachusetts.
And there it is. Stupidity at its highest. The governor of Massachusetts lives in Swampscott, which is a very well-to-do suburb north of Boston. I've been there many times, and they're very exclusive in a lot of different ways. And here they are painting arrows, telling people which way to walk. And so it's what she's saying that this is insane. So you have to cross the street to go left, or how are they going to configure this and have these ridiculous looking arrows there? I mean, that's what they're saying, is some of the stuff does not make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. And that's, we just looked at that. Here's something else. Italian government calls for arrest of Bill Gates. I mean, you're going to hear them talking in Italian, but let's take a look at this.
Bill Gates già nel 2018 profetizzava una pandemia, poi simulata lo scorso ottobre nell'Event 201, in accordo con gli amici di Davos. Ed ormai da decenni si prodiga nello sviluppo di piani di depopolamento e controllo dittatoriale sulla politica globale, puntando ad ottenere il primato su agricoltura, tecnologia e energia, e dice testuali parole riprese da una sua dichiarazione: se facciamo un buon lavoro con i nuovi vaccini, la sanità e la salute riproduttiva, possiamo diminuire la popolazione mondiale del 10-15%. E continua, aperte virgolette, solo un genocidio può salvare il mondo. Grazie ai suoi vaccini è riuscito a sterilizzare milioni di donne in Africa, ha provocato un'epidemia di poliomielite che ha paralizzato 500.000 bambini in India e ancora oggi con il suo DTP causa più morti della stessa malattia, così come con i suoi OGM sterilizzanti progettati da Monsanto e donati così generosamente alle popolazioni bisognose. Il tutto mentre sta già pensando di distribuire il tattoo quantico per il riconoscimento vaccinale e i vaccini ad mRNA come strumenti di riprogrammazione del nostro sistema immunitario, oltre a fare diversi affari anche con le multinazionali che possiedono le infrastrutture 5G negli Stati Uniti. E allora in questa tavola imbandita c'è tutto il deep state in salsa italiana. C'è la Sanofi che insieme alla già collusa Glaxo, gli amici per intendersi di Ranieri Guerra, di Ricciardi e del noto virologo che noi paghiamo a 2.000 euro.
So you can see that she really, she nailed it. She covered everything that he's doing. And I give her credit. She came right out, said exactly what she needed to say, and exposing some of the obvious, but not everyone's doing that. And then she's starting to name some of the companies there in Italy. So yeah, what a mess. What a mess. Here's something else that I found quite interesting. U.S. government accidentally releases electromagnetic mind control documents in FOIA request. This is old, but I thought it was interesting. This came out in April 24, 2018. When researcher Curtis Waldman and website Muckrock received files resulting from his Freedom of Information Act request on Antifa and white supremacist groups from the Washington State Fusion Center, he got a little more than he had bargained for: an unrelated zip file entitled EM Effects on a Human Body. Psychoelectronic weapon effects. This is crazy. Forced memory blanking, induced erroneous actions, induced changes of hearing, both apparent directions and volume, and sometimes even content. Many people have those weird ringing in their ear. Reading and broadcasting thoughts, controlled dreams, forced waking visions with synced with body motion, microwave hearing, transparent eyelids, artificial tinnitus. How many people had tinnitus? Forced movement of the jaw and cracking of the teeth, forced muscle quaking in the large muscles on the back, forced precision manipulation of hands, sometimes synced to the forced waking of vision, intense general pain of hot needles pushed deep into the flesh, also the flailing of some time followed by short periods of rigor mortis, forced nudging of the arm during delicate or messing work causing injury or spills, remotely induced violent no rash itching with preference for hard to reach areas, often during delicate or messy work. Just the racing of the heart without a cause. I can have people raise a hand on this one. How many are familiar with some of these things? Wild flailing, sometimes followed by short periods of rigor mortis. We already looked at that. Hard to reach sight, top and bottom. Never any rash, which often starts as a sensational small electrical shocks. And it's crazy. General effects, sudden overheating. I don't know, 2 people today alone talked about their head, top of their head being overheated. All body pain, forced caffeine feeling, sleep prevention, forced drop in your tracks, sleep inducement, irresistible go here, go there commands, microwave burns, electric shocks. Involuntary test subjects also experience frequent breaks and enters at home and at work with clothes, clothing, and furniture, business papers, computers, files sabotaged, modified or stolen. Psychological warfare research is likely motive. Crazy. What an interesting thing to find. And this is probably nothing compared to what they have now or what they're going to do with 5G. Yep, down the rabbit hole. And there's more information on it. So, I believe that's the last of them. And just something to think about on the way out. That looks like an old military outfit, doesn't it? The guy's holding a cell phone. And people think it's crazy. Time travel, advanced tech, reversed technology. All sorts of things that we haven't even, a lot of people can't even imagine the stuff that we have. But either way, we have an interesting world right now. There's a lot to see. There's a lot to be aware of. Keep your eyes and ears open. Don't ever think that you're crazy, regardless of what anyone says. But don't get consumed by fear. And if you have any of these reactions or you see things, it's okay to speak out, to talk about it, find people that don't judge you, and stay strong. Believe in yourself, believe in those around you. This is a crazy world right now. And trust me, the crazy ones are not us in this situation. Have a good day, everyone. Stay strong.